I have the Typhon Stomp. This is the wheeled loader. This has got the Honda engine in it. So right now it has about 2.8 hours. So this is a review after I've used it for about 2.8 hours. The digital cluster on here is a little weird. I'm guessing that's 30% fuel. That's what it says. I'm not used to having this kind of a fuel gauge cluster. It says QC pass, so quality control pass, but I don't know about that. So these gauges are all shaky, and after about 2.5 hours to 2.8 hours or so of usage, see how it's shining right there? Yeah, that's an oil leak, and see right down there below? That's a hydraulic fluid leaking. And I kind of narrowed down to about, I think it's this plumbing right here, either of these. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's wrong. Also, when I received the unit, I did notice these fittings were not in tight. I mean, there are no connections to it right now, but I did notice it wasn't tight, and I think there was a little bit of fluid leaked onto the truck that brought it. So I wasn't sure because the truck had about 6 other units on it too, so I wasn't quite sure if it was this one leaking or if it was other ones. But anyway, there was a little bit of leakage on the truck that brought it, so I noticed that, but I didn't really see any leakage on this specific unit. Also, the driver brought it in really late at night at 1 a.m. so honestly I couldn't tell on the unit if it was leaking anywhere or not. But I did do a quick spot check and it didn't seem like there was any leakage on the unit itself. I did, however, have to hand tighten these nuts up here, but they weren't leaking, so yeah, it didn't seem like a problem. But anyway, right now I do have a hydraulic fluid leak on this unit. Also, honestly, if you look online, you'll see similar looking units with different name and branding on it. And I gotta tell you, these are just stickers. So I don't know. So my guess is the chassis and everything is the same, and this Typhon company probably gets the unit and installs their own engine on it. So they might put a Honda engine or a Brick Stratton or the Rada or whatever the engine may be. They might install the engine and they might do some of the fittings, but I got a feeling it's all the same exact thing. These are just stickers. Even the name on it is just a sticker. So honestly, anybody could get one of these units and put their tag on it. It seems that way, but the unit overall seems to do really well. I've heard some people say on YouTube that this is like the Cadillac. I honestly don't have any comparison, so this unit seems to do pretty well. It lifts pretty well too, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'll put some videos of me actually putting it to use. I do have to say the four-wheel drive mechanism is not really great on concrete because there's a lot of jerking going on because it grips really hard. The tires do rip really hard on concrete, and on grass and on dirt it grips pretty hard too. So like it might rip a patch of grass out if you're trying to run it on a lawn. So if you care about pristine lawn, it's not gonna be best for your lawn. It does take a little bit of learning on how to drive this thing, to get the controls, to get used to the controls. So that was a big thing for me too, because each of the joysticks control one of the drivetrain basically. And while one of the drivetrain is working, it will not activate. It's really windy out here. So while one of the drivetrain is activated, it will not let you move the arm or tilt the bucket. So this side, the control on that side right there, when you move it forward or backward, it controls the wheels. Side to side, it controls, I believe, the bucket. And the instructions are all up here, so you can easily check that out. So it tells you right there the bucket tilt, and then you got the Oh, let me get that to focus. And that's your arm. So it's all there. Simple and easy. It's exactly like a lawnmower. I do gotta say though, I am really impressed with the LED lights. They are really bright, especially at night. I was able to work with this a little late into the evening when it was kind of getting dark, and I was pretty impressed with the lights overall. And when they brought it at night, the lights were really bright. That's the first thing I noticed, because the driver was trying to get it off of the truck, and it was super bright, and that was pretty nice. I don't know why they have a honk on it, but there you go. There's that. And that's a choke. So you pull the choke when you're firing up the engine, then it's a cold start. I'm not sure why they have a cigarette lighter or a output right there, but hey, if you want to plug in your phone, not like you're driving anywhere, but if you want to have a GPS or something, there you go. Plug in your phone, charge it up or whatever. The one other issue that I specifically noticed, like the Honda engine is great and everything, it's less noisier than my lawnmower that's right here. They're both the same, about 23 horsepower, 22, 23 horsepower. This one has got a Brick Stratton engine, and I did notice this one is a lot louder. I mean, I do have about 80 hours on this lawnmower. I mean, this one has only got 2.8, so that's probably why. I do all my maintenance myself, so I do keep it in good condition. Oh man, the looks like the fluid leak has gotten all the way on to the step back here. But I gotta say, the step is really nice. They do have it on a little piston right there. It's really firm, really good, really solid quality, build quality. The access to the engine bay is back here, so you do have to take off these screws that go in, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's not cheap built. It's really solid metal all around, so I am really happy with that. I mean, there's even like latching points or towing points right there, so it's plenty of ways for you to use this unit. Really solid build. They look like they took sheet metal and built the whole thing off of it, like really thick sheet metal. So it's heavy, I'll tell you that. So you don't want to be caught behind the unit, because that's not going to be a good day. Some units have, or some of the other brands, I've seen people have complained the fuel tank, the opening sticks out too much to a point where it hits your leg when you're standing behind here. I haven't noticed any of that problem with this one. It does stick out a tiny bit, but nothing too noticeable. Like, I got the camera flat against the body right here, and it's barely sticking out, not enough to even scrape your leg. One other issue that I noticed on here, the fuel exhaust pipe. Nobody talks about that, but see that opening back there? That's for the exhaust, for the tailpipe. So when you're using the unit, yes, it is gonna smell like fumes a little bit, because the tailpipe does not extend out of the unit. It ends about an inch and a half, maybe shy of the end of the unit. It might exhaust it out to the outside, but yeah, they did not do a good job with that design. I'm not sure how they could have improved it. Perhaps they could have put it down somewhere, but I think the problem is the hydraulic arm might get in the way. That's probably why they did not extend it out. But I feel like they could have put it out a few more, like an inch and a half more, to get it to the body at least. So that way it would have exhausted a little better, as opposed to bending it half into the unit and half outside. So when you're using the unit, you might smell fumes a little bit. That's one of my main complaints about this specific unit. But overall, it's strong build quality. I did notice my tire did get punctured a little bit. It did not leak, but a really thick and pointy, what was it? Like I think it was a twig or something. It was a tough and pointy twig. It did puncture the tire. It did go about an inch, I think, into the tire. I did pull it out. So yeah, just be careful of that. These tires, they might look tough, but they can easily puncture from what it seemed like. And that was actually after my first usage too. I was trying to move some wood chips and mulch out here, and I think it got something in the tire from the mulch pile that I have back here.